Similar to what I asked you earlier about the
Yeah.
players that might put themselves in your thoughts.
Good.
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 What can you say from an Everton perspective about that?
Yeah, well, I think that we think both are in good form. I thought both played very well against Barnsley. I think both are, Clicky's clearly 100% fit, and I think that Luis is getting more and more fit. So I think that both will be candidates for the starting 11. And then we'll just try to evaluate physically where guys are at and we'll see who's ready to repeat and go. It's a good thing that we didn't push too many guys midweek. We'll see how Liam Cooper's doing. Patrick Bamford will be really close for that match. So we should have options.
It's an unusually tight turnaround for the Premier League. You don't often have Saturday, Tuesday. So what do you make to that being a challenge this week?
Yeah. I think, in Germany, they call, when you play midweek, they call it an Englische Woche, which means an English week. Because when you sit in Germany and you watch how many games that the championship plays and the games in the Prem and everything else, and no winter break, and when I came to this league, I knew this was going to be a big challenge, was how to perform game in and game out, week in and week out with so many matches. It's one of the reasons that we've tried to build a bigger squad so that we're ready to rotate and we can count on more players and hopefully put fewer players at risk of injury.
You still looking to build a bigger squad? What can you say on that?
Yeah, I think we're still remaining optimistic and active.
And what about Everton as a side then? They drew today with Brentford finally from me. What do you make to them as an actual outfit?
Sorry, say that again?
Everton as a side, what do you make to them as...
Yeah. I saw that they got a good result against Brentford, who I think is a really good team. And I think the way that they played at the end of last year, very pragmatic, but also very clear. They defend very well. They don't give much away. They're good on the counter. So it sets up to be a dangerous game for us. But we have to make sure, I think, that we're very clear with, again, exactly what they want out of the match, just like we tried to be today, and make sure that we don't play into the strategy of what they're trying to do, and we play into the strategy of what we want to do. Yep.
Just going back to the point, Jesse, about playing every couple of days. Is that a good thing for your players, do you think, not having long to think about this result and to go again fairly soon after?
I try to take every experience that we have together and find out what are the learning points, what are the good learning points, what are the bad learning points, and where are the opportunities, and how do we take steps forward and get stronger for each experience. The best way to learn is play matches, right? And so even that's why we rotated against Barnsley to get more different players on the match, and then we had a really good hour discussion about what, as a team, what that match was, and we talked about what was good, what wasn't as good, and then how each player can move forward and how we can move forward as a group. So my goal is always to have an entire squad that is very clear in their roles and ready to execute and perform at all moments. So certainly this week will be a test of that.
And what do you want to see from your team against Everton that you didn't see in the performance today?
Well, again, it'll be a different match. Just like Chelsea was a different match than this, there'll be different tactics involved. There'll be different players. There'll be different match plans. But certainly, again, what I said is that we don't play foolishly where we're playing into the hands of the opponent, and more where we're playing to our strengths and what we want to achieve on the day.
How much of a challenge is it to keep an entire squad clear on their roles, ready for a game,
Yeah.
and happy with their lot in life?
That's my job. The job of a manager for me is to have a plan, to institute football ideas every day, to have principles, to be clear with exactly what the playing model is for every single player, and for each player to understand their role, their strengths, their weaknesses, and how it fits within what we're trying to build, and then to build a leadership model where everybody feels engaged, where they feel like they matter, where they're valued, and where they want to give 100% to the group effort. That's the job of a manager, if you ask me, pretty simply.
When you look at the next game off the back of a defeat, how do you balance the temptation to react quickly and make changes compared to remaining patient with players that you know over several weeks that have done a pretty good job for you?
Yeah. No, I mean, in general, I think the whole group is moving forward. Even I think the Barnsley game wasn't perfect, but there was a lot of positives. So that sometimes you need. I'm not too, despite my reaction to the referee, I'm not too emotional from this. I saw the game pretty clearly. And now I just have to take a little time to think about where guys are at physically, what we will need specifically for the Everton match, and then to put a team on the pitch that I think can manage that game the best that we can.